Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be starting a new series for the month of September. We are going to be doing Adam Sandler month. I know it is currently August 28th, but Adam Sandler has like 60 movies in his filmography that we're going to try to get through. Keyword try, I doubt we will. But there are about 60 movies we're going to try to get through, so I'm starting a few days early. Today we have the first three, actually three out of the first five movies in Adam Sandler's filmography. We are going to be talking about Going Overboard, Shakes the Clown, and Mixed Nuts. We are skipping Coneheads because he's in like one scene, and we are skipping Airheads or Airbag or it's Airheads because I couldn't find it anywhere. I could literally I had to get fucking Tubi to watch Going Overboard and Shakes the Clown, but I couldn't find Airheads anywhere, which is weird that I could find the shittiest movie I've ever fucking seen, Going Overboard, and I couldn't find a movie with Adam Sandler and Steve Buscemi, so maybe that's worse. I don't know. But Going Overboard, to start it off, because this is the very, very first movie Adam Sandler made, is one of, if not the worst movies I've ever seen. I didn't even finish it. I got 20 minutes into it, and then I turned it off because it was so bad. Here, let me read you my Letterboxd review for this wonderful movie. I've been doing Letterboxd reviews for all these movies. Go follow me on Letterboxd at it is Ryan Fink 2003. I put it in the descriptions of all the podcast episodes, which if you guys have not been watching the podcast, go check out the podcast. But I don't put it in the thing for these because I don't really care that much. But all right, let me read you my review of Going Overboard. I gave it half a star. I said, well, half a star is the worst I can do for this movie. But this movie is unwatchable. There is absolutely nothing redeeming about this movie. Adam Sandler is in it, so at least it'll be funny, right? Nah, not really. This is still super unpolished pre-SNL Sandler. The only reason I'm watching this movie is because I'm doing a month of Adam Sandler on my YouTube channel. But I could only get 20 minutes in. I had to put this review in with my review of Shanks the Clown because I had so little to say about this movie because it was terrible. Fuck this movie. It's unwatchable. Yeah, I have nothing to say about this movie. I have some notes that I took. I guess that's where we'll go. We'll read off my notes. Okay, I legitimately almost turned the movie off during the credits. The credits were that bad. They played this like fucking annoying ass song in the credits, and the credits were like 5 minutes long. Like they were nuts. And credits are normally at the end of the movie. They were fucking thanking everybody who did shit in the movie at the fucking beginning before the movie even fucking started. And so I thought about doing funny notes for this because I thought I was going to watch the whole movie. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But there's a scene where in the very beginning, he's driving up to the boat with like a taxi cab driver. And then he introduces himself to the taxi cab driver after he gets out of the car. Like you weren't just in the fucking car with him for like 20, 30 minutes. Like, what the fuck? Seeing like super young Adam Sandler in this movie, like even pre-SNL Adam Sandler, is kind of jarring. It's kind of like cool to see. I guess that's the only redeemable thing about this movie. Even though there really isn't anything, I think it's kind of cool seeing like a young Adam Sandler get a start. This movie had an $800,000 budget. We make the joke on the podcast that I'm the budget guy, but I think the waste making a movie is very expensive. But I think the waste that some of Hollywood does is kind of remarkable. Like this movie had a budget of $800,000. I think 400,000 of that went to casting Burt Young, who was like the famous actor in this movie at the time, and I think the other 300,000 of it went to casting Billy Bob Thornton, and then they had $100,000 for everything else. The script for this movie was legitimately made in 3 days, and the movie was filmed in 6 days. So that's a 9-minute win. That's a week and 2 days. It takes some people longer to write a page of a script than that. But like, it makes sense that this movie was made in 9 fucking days. I feel like I could make something. I mean, I don't have the star power attached to it, but I feel like I could make something a little bit better than this fucking movie. It was horrible. So yeah, if it wasn't obvious, 0 out of 10, 0.1, because I have to give a point. A 0.1 out of 10 for this movie. This movie was fucking abysmal. But let's get into our next movie. Shakes the Clown, starring Bobcat Goldthwait, who also directed the movie. Okay, so I did say this movie is twice as good as the awful Going Overboard, which means instead of 20 minutes into this movie, I got about 45 minutes into this one. I watched this movie last night, and I completely passed out around like the 45 to 50 minute mark. And I had absolutely no desire to fucking watch this piece of shit again. But like Adam Sandler was in this movie for a little bit more. Well, not more than Going Overboard because he's like the main star of Going Overboard. But he's in this movie more than he was in like Conehead, the Coneheads. What the name? What the fuck is the name of the movie? Yeah, just Coneheads, which I thought about watching, but I didn't want to. I have a lot of movies to get through, so we're gonna kind of concise this down. But uh, he was in like 2, 3 scenes in this movie. He played like I think his name was Dink the Clown. He was pretty funny. I laughed at this movie at least. But I said, here's my notes for this movie. I said, always a good sign when a movie starts with a dude vomiting, which in the very first scene, the dude's like drunk, throwing up, but always a good. So I thought maybe the whole, the humor of this movie is lost on me because I have no fucking clue who fucking Bobcat Goldthwait is. Maybe some of my older fans do. I have no fucking clue who that is. I know he did stand up in like the 80s and 90s, but I don't really give a shit. Um, and there's this one scene. I put this in my notes. There's one scene where he does a fucking front flip off a like roof, and having a 40-year-old alcoholic clown do a front flip is nuts. Also, Tom Kenny plays the villain in this movie. Yeah, the voice of SpongeBob plays the villain in this movie. So yeah, that's something. And let's yeah, that movie. I give it a 1.1 out of 10. Didn't have a good time watching it, but it was something. At least made me laugh a few times. But we're gonna get into the actual movie that substantiates the main part of this review, which is Mixed Nuts. Mixed Nuts is a weird movie. It's fucking weird. Here, I'll just read my Letterboxd review for it to you. Um, this movie is somewhat fun. I will give it that. It's definitely miles better than Shakes the Clown, and especially Going Overboard. This movie starts off really fun. It feels like a fun Christmas movie that you can turn on, just kind of like whenever and just watch. I'm not reading this word for word. I'm just kind of freestyling it. But yeah, it feels like this like fun Christmas movie that you can just kind of turn on, have in the background. While you're like hanging out with your family around Christmas time, checking the fucking NORAD Santa tracker, baking cookies and shit. Um, Unlike the last two movies in this Adam Sandler universe of films, this movie I actually sat through and enjoyed for the most part. But it goes completely off the rails. Like there's a character. Trying to say this in the best way I can. I don't really. There's this character Chris, played by Liev Schreiber, the guy who fucking would go on to play Cotton Weary in my favorite horror movie of all time, Scream, and he would go on to play Sabretooth in the original X-Men movies. This is his very first film role, and he's playing this like weird stereotype of like a trans person, and it's just so fucking it's weird, man. It is weird, and I know it's like his first fucking film role, so that's probably why they were able to get him to say yes. But yeah, Steve Martin plays the main character in this movie. This is a Steve Martin movie, not an Adam Sandler movie, but Adam Sandler's in it for like a good chunk towards the end, so I decided to throw it on the review. Steve Martin's really funny with a lot of good one-liners. Anyway, Adam Sandler was good in this movie. This is right before he left SNL to go make Billy Madison, I believe. Which, spoiler alert, if you don't know Adam Sandler's filmography, that is the next movie that we will be doing, Billy Madison. It will get its own episode, so we're not gonna have to fucking but like this movie completely falls off the rails towards the end. Like, so throughout the movie, they're kind of given. So Steve Martin's character Philip works with two girls at this like suicide prevention hotline, which are already a great start. But he's doing that thing, and then the landlord comes to shut them down because they don't have enough money or whatever. And throughout the movie, there's these characters named Gracie and Felix, and Felix is like ex-con, wants to do like a wall painting and some shit, and Gracie's his pregnant wife, and they're not or not wife girlfriend, they're not fucking with each other at some point, and they like start beefing, and then she hits Felix in the head with like a thing of fruitcake, and then Felix has to go get stitches at the fucking vet, and he overdoses on like dog tranks. Uh, and then Chris, Lee Shriver's character, like comes over because she's lonely on Christmas because her whole family makes fun of her, and like she dances with Steve Martin's character, and then fucking Catherine comes home, and the fucking like older lady like leaves and quits, and then gets the fruitcake thrown on her car and it shatters her window, and then she has sex with this dude walking three dogs. Like it's fucking not, and it hasn't even started to completely fall off the rails yet. Like then Felix comes in, he shoots Chris in the foot for some reason. I don't remember why. I don't remember why he had a gun. Uh, and then Gracie's like unloading the gun by shooting it all around the fucking room, and it goes through the door and it kills the fucking landlord. So now Felix is gonna take the blame. So they wrap him up in a Christmas tree, and they're gonna throw him on the fucking pier, and then Felix is gonna take the blame for it. I don't know why. I mean, I guess because he doesn't want his pregnant wife to go to jail. But it's a fight. Like I know accidental discharge of a firearm resulting in death would be probably involuntary manslaughter, but fucking he's like, oh, I'll take the fall. But instead of like taking the fall, he just fucking runs up a building and like tries to kill himself. And then Philip has to like actually do his job for once because he's a wrecking person, even though he's good over the phone with trying to prevent people from suicide. And he prevents Felix from suicide. And they're about to like take Felix in, and they're going through Stanley's bag, which is the landlord, and they find out he's this fucking serial killer that's been killing bitches with fish wire. And there's like kelp in his bag, so I don't know. He probably like puts the kelp in their mouth or something. He's the East Side Strangler, is what I think he gets called. So Gracie gets a fucking like $250,000 reward, and now they're able to pay the rent for Philip's shit and pay for their fucking kid and shit. And yeah, and then she goes into labor with her baby, and it mirrors the nativity scene, and everybody fucking paints a mural on the wall, and they're all happy, and Merry fucking Christmas. What did I give this movie out of 10? I give it a 4.5. Yeah, that makes sense. It's fun. I'll probably watch it again around Christmas time. This was the first time I'd ever seen this movie, but yeah, it was a pretty good time. Next episode, let me pull up Adam Sandler's filmography. Next episode will be, I believe it's just, Billy Madison is next. Billy Madison, and then we get into some big movies. We get into, like some really, this is where Adam Sandler really starts hitting a stride, because we go Billy Madison, and then the episode after that will be Happy Gilmore, and then probably Bulletproof. I'll just do I'll throw Bulletproof in. I'll probably throw Bulletproof. We'll do Billy Madison one episode, Happy Gilmore the next, and then we'll do Bulletproof and The Wedding Singer, and then I'll do. I might do Dirty Work in that one too, because I know he's just kind of in that movie. He's not really like. He's a cameo, so I might not even do Dirty Work because he just plays Satan in that movie. And then we got Waterboy, Big Daddy, Deuce Bigelow, Lil Nicky, Punch Drunk Love, Mr. Deeds, Eight Crazy Nights, Hot Chick, Anger Management, 50 First Dates, Longest Yard. So yeah, we're starting to get into Adam Sandler's golden age. But yeah, this video has gone 15 fucking minutes talking about some of the worst movies I've ever seen. So I am just going to go ahead and call it quits. After this month on the podcast, let's talk about that. I believe we're doing Goodfellas, Shawshank Redemption, The Nice Guys, and then I think we're doing a special episode of The Sandlot. And then we get into our month of horror. Don't exactly know what the movies are for that yet. I know Nate is picking The Thing, and I believe Noah is doing Nightmare on Elm Street. And I know our bad movie of the month is going to be Jason X, Jason Goes to Space. And my episode, I'm stuck between Hereditary and Scream right now. And then for the Halloween special, we're not doing an October roundup. We're recording the August roundup tomorrow. Sorry if you can see that like glint from the window. But yeah, we're not doing an October roundup. We're doing a Halloween special where we watch Halloween 1 and 2. And that's going to be it for October. November, I know we're only doing 3 podcasts that month because we're taking a week off for Thanksgiving, and then we'll get into December Christmas movies, obviously. But on the channel, I am going to be doing a month of horror after we finish up Adam Sandler month. My goal is to get to Hoopy Halloween in September, so we can kind of piggyback, like at the very end of September, do Hoopy, and then piggyback onto horror movies. But that probably won't work. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, go follow the podcast. We have it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, I believe, Podbean, Amazon Music, YouTube is where the VODs are at. They're on this channel, so just go like those videos. Enjoy them. But yeah, I believe that's everything, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We will see you. I will probably make another video tomorrow, and then we'll see you with the podcast on Saturday. Peace, everybody.